My name is Courtney Kingsmore. I teach fourth grade at Louisa East Elementary in Lawrence County, and I'm ELA teacher, so I teach reading, language, and writing. In fourth grade, you have a lot of opportunity to see how your students do on tests, whether it's a STAR test, a MAP test, K-Prep test, or any daily formative assessments. And last year specifically, I noticed that I had a lot of high students not performing well on tests. And it came down to they didn't really have the use of test-taking strategies. So I would see them answering multiple choice questions and kind of just guessing instead of going through and eliminating their choices or deconstructing the standards. So last year I really got into, okay, let's take these questions, let's deconstruct them, let's see what do you really need to answer in this question, and let's mark out what's not going to be the right answer. That will help you determine your correct answer. And in doing that, we had the opportunity last year to do a lot of Kagan structures. Our resource teachers would come in and teach us these different Kagan structures, and we'd be able to apply them in the classroom. So we had a lot of collaborative learning going on. I've done a lot of flexible seating in my classroom, so that's one thing that I think that's helped with the collaborative learning. But one thing that I thought could really help with helping these students become engaged in test-taking strategies in order to improve their formative assessments would be the whiteboard tables. So for this grant, I wrote it to get 3 whiteboard tables and 1 kidney dry erase table. And with these tables, it's going to allow my students to collaborate more often and allow them to use these test-taking strategies and make it more fun for them rather than just doing it pencil and paper all the time, because we know that's not what students like to do nowadays. So I have put in for the 3 collaborative tables and the kidney table. And with these tables, these are the different strategies that I plan on doing. I'm going to have them deconstruct short answers, so they'll be able to use the whiteboards to deconstruct their short answers on there, pull out their powerful verbs to know what is the question asking them. I've even thought that I could take the whiteboard tables and have maybe make a template on there for them with the short answer box or extended response box and have them collaborate together to make their answers and to score their own peer answers. And even do the multiple choice elimination on the table. So when you think of whiteboard tables, you think that's instant formative assessment that you can see rather than just taking up the paper, taking up what you have to do and grade it. You can just see it right there and check it. So those are the different strategies that I have to do, as well as the closed sentence practice. Because you could ask probably anybody in our building when we grade the unit assessments all the time, it's what are your students struggling with? It's vocabulary. So we do a lot of closed sentences where they have to use their context clues to determine the words. So I thought by using the whiteboard tables, it'll make it more fun for them to write the sentences, pull out their context clues, and then plug in the missing vocabulary word. So just anything that we can do to make it more fun for them, to make them willing to do these strategies rather than you kind of forcing them to say, okay, mark out your answer. Okay, what's the question asking you to do? The way that I'll measure this is by using the STAR data, the formative assessments in the classroom. For the STAR data reports, we've learned a lot about using the instructional reports, so you can see what are the specific skills that your students are missing. And that's where the kidney table will come in use a lot. I'll be able to look at the specific standards and pull these kids back with me in order to help them out on the specific skills that they're missing. And that will also allow those higher students to collaborate with the ones that are struggling a little bit more on that specific skill and allow them to work in groups together with that. And I'll be able to measure it by looking at their STAR reports. We've done a lot of coaching this year, so I thought during that time, after they've collaborated with the whiteboards, after they've used their strategies on the whiteboards, they can take a look at their common assessment data or their STAR data. That's also recorded in our classroom in order to see how they're doing. So I plan on using the whiteboards a lot for collaboration, a lot for just having them take those skills that we've worked on all year and applying them now to see if it makes a difference in just kind of keeping them more engaged. And the way I'll measure how engaged they are is just by classroom observations, classroom notes, just discussions with the kids during coaching time. If you want to look at the poster, I posted a few pictures of just my kids working in collaborative groups right now. So it's nothing really that we're not doing. It's just seeing how big of a difference it makes from what we're doing now versus adding the whiteboard tables in to see if it helps improve their engagement and their performance. Because we all know when students are engaged, it's going to help their performance in that way.